Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Even though it's nearly February, Happy New Year. I hope you're all having a great start to 2022. It's great here. It's a beautiful sunny day here, amazing. It's been very wet this summer, very wet and very cool. So yeah, not much swimming in the pool, not much going to the beach. Oh well. Okay, I've got lots to show you today. It's been about 7 weeks since I made a Flosstube video. I did make one with Betsy, when was that? Just before Christmas, I think. So you can go and check that out on her channel. That was a whole lot of fun. Yeah, so let's get cracking. So I had a look through my book of days for 2021 and it looks as though I've finished 21 things in that year, so I was pretty pleased with that. And thinking through that, I thought I'd show you just a couple of my most favourite finishes for the year. My most favourite is this piece, which is oh gosh, I can't even remember its name. IDM 18, I can't remember. It's a modern folk embroidery piece. It's available as a PDF download. I stitched this in all of the called for DMC threads on a 46 count salted caramel from number 12 Stitch Co. And I absolutely love this piece. And I love the frame. The frame is just beautiful. I framed it myself, but it is a custom frame from frameshop.com.au. So that is, yeah, just beautiful. Love it. Love it. And just one more of my favorites, and it's this little one here, which is called the Bee Skep from the Agnes Platt Blackbird Designs booklet. And I just love that one, and I think the frame just really suits it. So again, I framed it myself. The frame came from the same place, frameshop.com.au. So you can see a lot of reflection, but who cares? Go on. So they're two of my most favourite finishes. I did make quite a few gifts last year, and they've been distributed to their recipients. So that's all very good. Now I do have a notebook somewhere, but I can't find it. Of course, it's buried under all my stuff. But I will start, let's start with fully finished objects, or FFOs as we like to call them. So this is what I've worked on and finished since I last saw you. This is called Good Intentions, and this is by Kathy Barrick. And I just love this little one as well. I love them all. This I stitched on a piece of 40 count flax from Zweigart. I stitched it using the called for NPI silks. And I framed it from a custom frame from frameshop.com.au. And this is another, they're just a really beautiful frames, and this one I got with a stand back. So you can see here, it's just got this little doodad that slots into the back. So if you don't want to put it on the wall, you don't have to, you can just stand it up on a shelf or a cupboard or whatever. So that's that little one. I think that was the only fully finished object I made. Oh, the next thing I did, this is a start and a finish, and I started this yesterday, day before yesterday, and I finished it yesterday. And again, it comes out of this sweet little book, which is the Agnes Platt Strawberry Sampler book from Blackbird. And I stitched this little pillow, and I really wanted to finish it with the beads around the outside of the flowers, but I gave it a go and I just couldn't get the beads to sit nicely, so I thought, oh, scrap that idea. It's also on the back, it's a bigger picture of it. So I finished it, and I've got it, so that I didn't put, of course I didn't put Alma Allen on it. And I couldn't think of anything that I wanted to, any words I wanted to stitch. So I left it, and then I was thinking this morning, how am I going to finish it? And I remembered I had this little short spool that I got in just a bundle of spools off eBay, I think it was. And I thought it might be cute on there. So I think that's how I'll finish it. I made Betsy a drum for her 60th birth, not a drum, a spool finish for her birthday. And that was using a pattern from Ellen Chester with my needle. So I'll get those instructions out again. I'll do a nun stitch around the outside on all 4 sides, and then some eyelets and lace it to this little spool. So I think that will be quite cute. So that's that one. Hopefully next time I come back I can show you another FFO. Another one that I finished in December was this one. This is from the Prairie Schooler booklet, Santa Rides. And as you can see, this is Santa in his hot air balloon. And I stitched this one on a piece of 40 count water green from Zweigart. This is just a solid dye, and it's not showing very true. It is quite a grey dusty blue colour. It's very pretty, and I just decided to stitch Santa on that for a bit of something different. The called for thread for the little stars and the moon was more of a yellowy colour, but I liked it in the white to make it show up on this linen. So that's what I did. And he's very cute. I think I was motivated to stitch this one by Cindy C Stitches on Instagram. She does some beautiful stitching. One of my favourite pieces from 2021, and because of the fabulous friendship that I've made with a fabulous group of ladies from all around the world. This is the Joan Sands Stitch Along that we started last year. This was something that Betsy instigated, was the stitch along for this. I tagged along, and then in the end there were 8 of us. So Betsy, myself, Caroline from Off the Grid in Canada, Ellen, Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour from Canada, Gwyneth, Curling Stones and X Stitches in Canada, Laura Duet, Maud & Mozart on Instagram, and Brenda and the Serial Starter Flosstube channel. She's from the US. Jody, Trixie Tricycle. Betsy, I said Betsy, who have I missed? And Kathy from Tassie. Kathy Taz Purden on Instagram. Is that all of us? I think that's all of us. Who have I forgotten? No, that's it. So we stitched this together. Some of the girls in the group ended up pulling out some of these initials up here and stitching all of the initials of the girls in the group. I haven't done that because I couldn't quite face pulling out stitches. So what I think I might do is just do another little row of initials at the bottom of the piece. So isn't it gorgeous? So that is Joan Sands, a modern folk embroidery reproduction, and I stitched her using all of the called for DMC threads, and I just love it. I stitched it on a 40 count Cocoa Dust from number 12 Stitch Co. Love it. I really want to frame that one because it's a very meaningful piece. Okay, another finish. I did have a few finishes. I've had a few finishes between my last video and now, so it's nice to show you. This was another one of my favorite things I stitched last year. This was one that I was tagged on a post on Instagram by Mama Loves You GB Michelle. The moment I saw it, I shummed it, I can't say that word. I bought it directly from the lady who reproduced it on Etsy. But I did get a silk conversion done for me at a Stitching Time in Hobart because I thought it was silk worthy. So I stitched this one and finished it in December, and I stitched it on a 40 count cream linen from Zweigart, and I love it. And I made some mistakes and I left the mistakes in this one. Who cares? Who's gonna know? Me. That's it. So that's Caroline Scott Sampler, 1821. So she's very pretty, very pretty. Okay, so that's all of my finishes since last December. I think I filmed last on the 5th of December, so 2 months worth. I've been on holidays or on vacation, as some around the world would say. I've been on leave for 6 weeks, so no work in that time, no school in that time, which has just been really, really fantastic. I was really tired at the end of last year, and I think it wasn't just work, but it was COVID, and I don't know, I was just really exhausted. So I've slept a lot these holidays. I've just kicked back. We haven't been doing very much at all. The weather hasn't been very nice, as like I said, but it's been really nice just to bum around at home. Just what the doctor ordered, I think. But unfortunately, I go back to work tomorrow. Liam, my youngest son, returned to school on Friday last week, and Blake, my oldest son, returns to school tomorrow too. So back to the grindstone, but that's okay. Right, let's crack on. New starts. I've had a few of those as well because there's just a never-ending supply of beautifulness getting released. Everybody, I'm sure, has seen this one. I've only got a black and white picture, but it's the, what is it called? The Rose and the Giant Pear from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. This was released not too long ago, but I bought it straight away. And I made a start, and like many, I really wanted it to be teensy tiny. So this is a piece of 46 count linen that I tea and coffee dyed myself. And that's the start. I started this one in the middle so I could get to the house. And it didn't take very long. It's not full coverage. There are a few little blank X's there, but I started that one. I don't enjoy stitching this border so much, so I haven't done much more on that. The next part of the chart I wanted to stitch was the pear, the giant pear, but I didn't have the DMC colour at home, so I put it away and worked on something else until I went to the shops to buy it. COVID is just rampant here, so I've really been hanging low. I don't want to get it. I was boosted 3 days ago, 2 days ago, Thursday, so 4 days ago, which is good. But oh man, I had such a sore arm. But you know, it's good to be boosted. Go get your vaccination if you haven't had it. Okay, now the next one I want to show you, the next new start I'll show you is a gift that I received from the lovely Betsy Klager for Christmas. Even though Betsy doesn't celebrate Christmas, let's maybe call it Festivus. So she arranged, I had all of these parcels kept arriving at my door. Don got quite cross with me. He said, "What are you spending all this money on?" It's like, I haven't been spending any money. Well, not on this stuff. I've been spending money on other things, but not this lot. And it was all this stuff from Betsy, just parcel after parcel after parcel. So I had the best Christmas day because I opened up all this stitchy stuff. And this is a bag that she arranged for me from Nicola at Number 12 Stitch Co. This beautiful bag. It's got the little scissors, little scissor pull here. And I think this is blackbird fabric. Look at that, isn't that amazing? And then this was a chart that Betsy got for me. It's called Coffee Quaker from the Heartstrings Samplery. Betsy knows me well. I can't function unless I've had a coffee or two every morning. Don and I have been together for, gosh, 29 years. I feel so old saying that. But in all of those years, every single morning, Don has brought me a coffee in bed. And I'm spoiled. I'm so spoiled. But anyway, so some mornings when I get up, I say, "Good morning, Betsy," on Instagram, and we start our day, and she knows I'm sitting in bed waiting for my coffee to arrive. Spoiled I am. Very lucky. So anyway, this is Coffee Quaker from Heartstrings Samplery. And it says, "First I drink the coffee, then I do the things." And I just love that. That is just so cool. So I did start this. I started this on Boxing Day, which I think the UK, you guys celebrate Boxing Day. It's the day after Christmas. So the 26th of December, we celebrate Boxing Day too. What is Boxing Day? We don't box each other. We just, because, you know, Christmas and all. Some people don't like Christmas. They get a bit rolled up. Anyway, so Betsy sent me, she also arranged to have sent to me some linen from Nicola. And this is a 36 count salted caramel. And I made a little start. Oh, and I also, it was the full works. This beautiful thread bling, which is a bird in a nest, and a matching needle minder, which I haven't got with me, but that's how it further. And the beautiful little charms, a little love heart, and a little, looks like a bunch of grapes. Most of the threads for it. And this is my start. So as usual, not always, but as usual, I started this in the bottom right corner, which is a bit weird, but that's just how I like to stitch. And it's very fun. And I'm looking forward to getting back to that one. I think of Betsy every time I stitch on it. Okay, stick that one back in there. Another new start, I've had a few. This one, I was a little bit cheeky and I started this one, which is Elizabeth Isles, $17.99. This is for Laura Duet's big 60th birthday, which was on the 1st of January. Happy birthday, Laura. I did a cheeky start and I started this, I think it was the 30th of December, maybe the 31st of December, during a Zoom call that I had with the Joan Sands girls. So Laura, Ellen, Caroline. Caroline couldn't make it that day. Betsy could only join us for a very short period of time because that was the day that Colorado had those horrendous fires and wind, and Betsy had a broken window. It was just a terrible day for Colorado. Poor Julie, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world. I was watching her video the other day and the fire got to within 2 blocks of her home. How scary. And in winter, that's just nuts. Anyway, I digress. So this, I started a bit early, only a couple of days, but it's very cute. I'm going to chop off the words. I've discovered something about myself and I don't like samplers with lots of text. So I'm going to chop off the words and continue the border across here. So it's just going to be a piece with the bird in the middle. But I've told you that before, I think. So where is my start? This is my start. And I started at the top, which, like I was just saying, is unusual for me because I usually start bottom right. But because I'm going to be reworking the border, I started up there. So I didn't do a whole lot, as you can see. I'm stitching this on a 40 count. Why can't it come to my head? 40 count spun sugar from Jay's X Stitch, another Aussie seller on Etsy. And I'm using all of the called for DMC threads for that one. and they are oh so pretty. Such pretty colours. Okay, next new start. I wonder why I've got so many WIPS. Next new start is this one that I started with Betsy on the 15th of January. Actually, I think I started it late. I was working on something else on the 15th that I couldn't put down, so I delayed the start on this one. But I've had this one kitted up for quite some time. I love it. I love that house, and I love the two skinny dogs. And that's what the chart's called, is Two Skinny Dogs, Martha Mulder, 1859, by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I'm using all of the called for weeks dye works, which is not very many. It's about 6 or 7. And this is my little start. I've just done the bottom border, and you can see here I just must have been ready for bed. I just finished mid-stitch. So that's the full width. So it's a good size, not huge. And this is a piece of 37 or 38 count, what used to be called Squash Blossom from Legacy Linens. And I over dyed it, I think with a RIT dye, just a concoction of RIT dyes, bit of this, bit of that. And I really love the colour it's turned out, because Squash Blossom is a very orangey, lots of orangey tones to it, which I didn't particularly love. But these are the colours. Now, if you can hear snoring, it's not my husband, it's the dog. I've got 2 dogs in here and a cat. I'm surprised Ted hasn't come yet, because the door is open. He doesn't like closed doors, but anyway. And Frosty's asleep on the table just behind me. I don't think he'll move. So they're the colours. Pretty. So 2 skinny dogs. I don't think we had a hashtag, did we, Betsy, for that one? I don't think we did. Start that. And this is in one of my favourite bags I've made with that pretty colour fabric, and I've quilted it. And it's got that colour on the inside. That's a Cafe Facet linen, not linen, patchwork fabric. Last new start. I started this one again a bit after Christmas. I haven't got a colour photo to show you, but you'll get the idea. This is Maria Vincenza Larica from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. And this is a red sampler, an Italian red sampler. And the moment I saw this on Nicola's Flosstube from Hands Across the Sea, I knew I had to stitch it. So I got a whole bundle of DMC 347, which is my favourite colour of red. Well, my favourite colour, full stop. And I made a start. Now this one is giant. You can see you see how big this is? This is massive, and I'm not all the way across yet. So I started bottom right corner, and I've just stitched, and this is really fun to stitch. It's quite repetitive, and you can just get into a rhythm. I reckon the edge will probably be about here. So I'm stitching this. Oh, and I'm not sure how tall it will be yet, but I've got quite a thumping big piece of linen here. This again is Spun Sugar from Jay's X Stitch. It's massive, but I'm loving this one. It's a lot of fun to do. Oh, my arms are getting sore. I've done nothing these holidays, like no exercise, nothing. It's not good, really. But oh well. Okay, I'll stick that one back in there. Excuse me a moment. The cat hasn't drunk out of that water, which is good to know. Okay, so I've mainly, although I've done quite a few starts, I've also been definitely in the mood to stitch on WIPS. So I've got a few WIPS, but they're each coming along. They're all coming along, and I'm really happy with how they're progressing. First one I'll show you is this one, which is so fun. I love stitching on this one, and sorry, it's black and white, as you can see. All Creatures Great and Small by Barbara Anna. Lots of people have done this one, and I'm loving it. As you'll see, this is where I'm up to. I haven't cut the linen yet, but that's where I'm up to. I'm starting to do a little bit of jumping around. I've got some of the scaffolding in here, some of the lines through it, so I can work out where things need to be placed. And I stitched this little cute little pig the other day in the little beehive, and the bee, the little kettle. So that's where that one's up to. I think I'm almost at the top here. This should be the top above that beehive there. That's about the top. So I'm stitching this one on 40 count Silvery Moon from number 12 Stitch Co, using all of the alternate DMCs. This one calls for anchor floss, but I'm using DMC, and I love it. This is such a fun piece to stitch on, because there's so many little motifs. You can just go and stitch, 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 and move around, and it's very fun. So I might pull that one back out later today and have a stitch on it, maybe. So that's All Creatures Great and Small. The next one I'll show you is Red Deer. That's one I've had going since it's my second oldest WIP. I had a look through my WIP list this morning, and it's my second oldest WIP, and it's about 18 months since I started it, which is not too bad, I guess. Can you see that one? You've seen it before. This is Red Deer by GGR. I'm stitching this using all of the called for threads, which are a combination of Gentle Arts and DMC. Excuse me. So that's this one. You probably can't see that very well. So all of those colours, a bit of a rat's nest. Anyway, you want to see this. So again, this one is coming along. So I've finished the viney sort of parts of the border. Just got the flowers in the border to do. Like I was saying to somebody on Instagram the other day, I'm an eat your veggies last sort of a girl, so I haven't done many of the flowers in the border. I'll do that last, and I'll curse myself for leaving it. But that one's coming along. That's stitched on a 37 or 38 count Heron Grey from Legacy Linens. And it's beautiful. I love it. I watched a little bit of Carol Saltbox Stitcher this morning, and I think it was a video. I'm a bit behind on Flosstube. It was her video that she did just after Christmas, and she had Red Deer in a frame sitting behind her on the wall, and oh, it's just so beautiful. Excuse me, I've got a tickle. Okay, now this one, Lucy Calcutt, she is my oldest WIP. I've been determined to get this one done. So that's Lucy Calcutt, 1826. So this is the second sampler that Lucy stitched. She stitched one in 1825, and it's beautiful as well. But I decided to do this one first. and it's stunning. And I'm stitching this one on the 36 count antique ivory from Zweigart. Oh, and she is big. I'll just wriggle back a little bit. So that's her, and I haven't got a whole ton left to do. I've got those two motifs. How am I going to hold this? So on this side, this motif needs to be finished, so does this one, and then there's a little, the same as this piece over here, needs to be put over here. So that's that one. Oh, and the windows, I need to fill in the windows. And that is Lucy. Isn't she beautiful? So I've, as an incentive to keep working on it, when I finish her, I'm going to hop on to the Primitive Punch Needle and Cross Stitching magazine, the one that lots of people in the US talk about and stitch from. I'm really in the mood to do some smalls. So when I finish Lucy, I'm going to jump on and subscribe and get the option where you can get the whole back catalogue. So it's great value. I've checked it out, but I've resisted buying that. But as an incentive, when I finish this, which shouldn't be too much more work, I'll do that. I actually made a big mistake in one of those last motifs, so I unpicked it, and then after that I had to put her aside. She is in timeout at the moment, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll want to dig her out again. Okie doke. Next one is a WIP that I started last year with the Ellens. So Ellen Reed, Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour, or LPOO is here on Instagram, and Ellen Chester from With My Needle. We started this for Ellen Chester's birthday in June, at the end of June. So this is Ellen Norris. What year? 1826 by GGR. It's charted using DMC, which I'm happy with because I love DMC. And I started this one last year, and then I put it down because it's got a lot of over one in it. And silly me, I didn't realise it had a lot of over one in it until after I had done quite a bit on 40 count. And over one on 40 count is not nice to do. But if any one of you have seen Betsy's latest Flosstube, I think it was only released probably an hour ago, but she shows a picture of me using my new headgear. She's wearing hers, I'm wearing mine, and Kathy's wearing hers. So thankfully, now that I've got that headgear, I can do the over one on 40 count stitching. So this is where she's up to. So that's, I think that's the full width. So again, I haven't cut this piece of linen down. This is a piece of iced chocolate from Jay's X Stitch on Etsy. It's a beautiful piece of linen. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you this little over one doggy. You see that little doggy there? That's all over one. What else is over one? Oh, part of this bird is over one. And this is a little lady down here, which is also over one. And I'm doing over one full cross on 40 count. Yeah, bit of an idiot, but oh well. It's going to be beautiful. The colours are really interesting. There's quite a few pastel-y pinks and blues in there, and greens. But isn't that house beautiful? Love it. Love it, love it. So I would like to get back to that one as well. I'll show you again because you haven't seen this one much before. I think a lot of people sort of started this and then realised it had a lot of over one in it and freaked out. But anyway, I'm just going to chip away at that one, which is what I tend to do anyway. Okay. The next one, I've got a little teeny tiny whip that is taking me a ridiculously long period of time to do. It's out of this little teeny tiny Blackbird Designs book. It's called Deck the Halls. And yes, that does say $34. Good old Aussie prices, because we've got to import absolutely everything. Anyway, you get that. Now, where is it? This one is called Dancing Sugar Plums. And it's a little berry. You can see the design there. That was a photocopy of the piece that's been put into a little box, but I would like to finish it as a strawberry. Is that what I called it? A berry? But it's taking me so long to do. There are so many colour changes and bloody doodads. All of those little one stitches, you know, these little one here, one here, one here, one here. That just gives me the pips. So when I get to it, you can see on there, I've got to put it down. It just annoys me. French knots give Ellen the pips. Doodads, I don't know what else to call them, just the odd stitches here and there. Let's have a look at the colours for one little strawberry. All those. There's a ton of them. I'm going to love it when it's done, but it's just taking me forever. And isn't that linen pretty? I have no idea what that linen is. I think it might be a Picture This Plus, but I don't know. All of those colours. Pretty, gorgeous, but yeah, bloody doodads. That's the only thing I don't like about Blackbird charts is all the doodads. Oh, and as Abby Bella Stitch would say, this is a beautiful project bag from Coles. Isn't it nice? I watched Abby's WIP parade in the holidays. I've been watching a few WIP parades, but Abby's, I just really enjoyed Abby's. Okay, now, last WIP that I've been working on. Another oldie but a goodie. I don't think I worked on it for very long. And it's this one, that I've shown you before lots of times, is Catherine Pickling, 1780. So this one, that was a kit from the V&A Museum in London. I did not use the supplied kit fabric, which is a wool. I just decided to use a 40 count platinum using the kit supplied DMC thread. And that's where I'm up to. I'm not sure how long it's been since I showed you this one, but I did finish the boob and bum, the boob and bum border. The boobs and bums across the top and the bottom. And, oh, I did chuckle when I saw this. This is the little house, and see this here? It looked like a TV aerial. Somehow I don't think it would be. A house stitched in the 1780s. I don't think so. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a weather vane or something like that. And this pot here is full of eyelets. And this pot here is going to be full of eyelets. So that's a lot of eyelets. But luckily, I love eyelets. And they're 16 leg eyelets too. So that one is just gorgeous. So like all of them, I want to get back to that one. It's actually got a lot of satin stitch, which is another stitch I really don't like. Funny, I like eyelets, but I don't like satin stitch. All these flowers down here. It's got a cross stitch outline of each of the flower petals, but inside is satin stitch. I know I don't have to do that. I know I could just do cross stitch, but I think I will do the satin stitch. If I'm going to all the effort to do the eyelets in here, do the satin stitch. Suck it up, Nick. That's that one. Okay, So that's all my WIPS. Speeding right along. Now what I wanted to show you was a few of the Christmas gifts that I did receive. I've shown you a couple that I did receive from Betsy, which I was very, very grateful for. Betsy also arranged for this very sweet little basket to come to me, and she arranged this one from the Cruel Goblin. I think they've still got some left. Whenever I'm on there having a sticky beak on their website, I check out the baskets because I just love baskets. And this is like a little miniature picnic basket. It's got the little hinged lid, and there's more goodies in there from Betsy. So she did send me a whole ton of the cutest stickers from A Simple Life Handcraft, which is in Adelaide in South Australia. And so I'll be using these in my book of days because I just love stickers. And those, oh, you know those big books that Brenda and Laura show? I'm having to whinge about cost here today. Those books are like almost 50 bucks in Australia. I ain't buying one of those. Anyway, sorry guys, got my whingy pants on. Look at those, they're so cute. And some washi tape with kitty cats and ducks and teddy bears and otters. They're so cute. What else did she, oh, she sent me some finishing stuff. This is, what's this called? Velveteen. For backs of pillows and things, and this one's called Old Cement. It's a very cool colour. It looks a bit purpley on the screen, but it's actually quite just grey. That's very cool. What else is in here? A few other bits and pieces. Oh, and this is something that I did buy. Oh, sorry about the crinkling. I bought this trim from Nicola at number 12 Stitch Co. She's been dyeing some trims. And this is the coolest trim. She recently included a little series of photographs on her Instagram page on how to use this stuff. But isn't it cool? It's like, I don't even know what it's called, but it's sort of, I don't know, it's like a tape that's got this wild woolly edge to it that just looks so good on pillows and various finishing items. So that's that one. That one's called Claret, and that's a beautiful colour. That's very similar to what I guess 3777 DMC is. And then this one, which is Chili. It's almost the same orange as my top. So that's that. So I'm looking forward to using those. And thank you, Betsy, for all my beautiful Christmas presents. I loved them. Okay, that's my little basket. Now, Kathy Purden from Tassie sent me a beautiful handmade Christmas present. You've seen a couple of these because she's sent one to Laura and one to Betsy, and I just love them. She sent me this cool needle minder. It says, coffee helps me mimic socially acceptable behaviour. Yes. My friends know me well. They know I love coffee. And she sent, check this out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you very well. This is like a little dingly dangly that you could put on. I think I could wear on a necklace. It's this little tiny frame that's got this little tiny bit of patchwork inside it. Isn't that amazing? It's fabric, not a picture. It's fabric in there. That is just, it's like crazy patchwork. Crazy? Yeah, I think that's what they call it. And that's the back, another piece of fabric. So that's really clever. I love that. I need a second one so I can wear them as earrings, Kathy. Please. Thank you. So that's that one. Very cool. But these little bags Kathy makes are just so nicely made. And look at the little pin she's included. So that's like a wool I don't know what you call it. It's like a wool. I'm sure it's wool, or predominantly wool. And that's where you can rest your ends of your threads that you're saving for another part of your chart that you're going to stitch. Like a thread minder thing. And it's got a little pocket in here and a little vinyl pocket in here. The stitching's so perfect, Kathy. You're very clever. Look, and isn't that the beautiful, most beautiful fabric? And some matching banding along here that she's made. And handmade by Kathy. I love it. I'll treasure that, Kathy. Thank you. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to show you, I think this is all, is the I've got two more segments. I've got one which is more Christmas stuff that I received from my family, and then just very quickly some plans. So I don't know whether I've shown you this before, and I can't remember whether it was what my family included. I think I might have shown you this before. This is, I got this, I did order this one myself after seeing Ellen, Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour Ellen. She stitched this beautiful sampler. She wasn't happy with the linen she chose, but I just love that. I love the border, I love everything about it. So that's La-Di-Da Elizabeth Jones sampler. And then these things I'll show you now are what my family got me for Christmas. So this is a Happy Life sampler from La-Di-Da. I think La-Di-Da is becoming one of my most favourite designers. I love everything she does. I just love that. And that is largely calling for DMC. So I'd like to do that one. I'd like to do all of them. Now this one I've had my eye on for a while. This is Susanna Lynch from Leela's Studio. So I was very happy to receive this one. I love this one. And this is stitched using overdyed cotton, which I'll probably do because it's got that sort of faded look from using those. So I will get those eventually when I go to start it. And I have put with it a piece of XJU light nougat, not nougat. We call it nougat in Aussie land. So just the differences in how we pronounce things. It's funny. So that's a really beautiful piece of linen that I've had in my stash for a little while. That's that one. And then I did also receive this one. And this is the Isabella Sinclair 1827 Scottish sampler. And I love it, although I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy stitching this alphabet because it's got lots of the curly whirly back stitchy parts to it. I really don't like back stitch, but I think it is another one that I just have to suck it up and get it done because it's so glorious. And it's got a red house. What's not to love? And inside the pack, it's also got instructions for making these little smalls from elements out of the sampler, which is pretty cool. I love that. Thank you, family. Okay, so that was the Christmas presents, which I was very lucky to receive. Thank you. Now, plans. This year, I think I'm going to, even though I've had a heap of new starts already this year, I really would like to focus on getting some WIPS, my WIP number down. As you saw, Lucy Calcutt hasn't got that much work left on her, so I think I can confidently say she'll be finished this year. And I think Red Deer will be finished this year as well. I would like to stitch some more small pieces. So I did buy this fairly recently. I bought this from Daisy Chain Stitchery, my friend Teresa. Thank you, Teresa. La-Di-Da Yellow Bird. It's only little. It's only 57 by 67 stitches, so that will only be a couple of days stitching. It's not very yellow, in my mind, the thread that they've used, which is a Gloriana silk. So I did pull a couple of yellowy, browny colour threads. I pulled WIPS Amber and Gentle Arts Autumn Leaves, which I thought might be good, but that was just plain. Now the other thing that I would like to start soon is this one, which is Hannah Hetherington. I haven't seen all that many people stitch this, and I just love it. I love the blues in it. Normally I'm attracted to reds, all of the red samplers with red houses, red lettering, you know, monochrome, red stitching. That's normally what I really love, but this one really tickled my fancy. So I did order all of the Dinky Dye silks, the called for Dinky Dye silks from A Stitch in Time in Hobart. And so Carolyn ordered them for me quite some time ago, a couple of months ago, and they're finally coming. And they should arrive in the mail tomorrow, or the next day. So that is certainly something that I would like to start sooner rather than later. I have no idea what linen I'll stitch it on. I'll have to have a look when the threads arrive to see what looks best. So they are my plans. Now I'm very surprised that we haven't been joined by any pussycats or any dogs being noisy, other than the little snore that Bonnie let out. Amazing. So that's that. Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed what I've shown. Sing out if you've got any questions. I have become aware that my email address, my Nicky Noodle Stitching email address, has been playing up. I'm not really sure why it's been playing up, but I don't think I've been getting all of the emails. So I sincerely apologise if you have been sending me emails and I haven't replied. I'm not sure. There's something in the settings that I need to go and have a fiddle with to see what's going on and get that up and running again. The Daisy Chain Stitches retreat is on this year, which I am very, very excited about. We still do have about 5 spots available. So if you're interested in coming to the retreat, please check out the Daisy Chain Stitchery website. There's a little bit of information there. Alternatively, you can send me a message on Instagram, and I'll get back to you that way with some information about the retreat. It's on in September. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head. I think it's the 16th to the 18th, but I could be wrong there. It's in the Hunter Valley in Pocolban. It's going to be really, really fun. Teresa and I have got lots of ideas swirling around in our heads about goodie bags and what shops we've invited to join the retreat to sell some supplies to all of us stitchers who can't get our hands on enough stuff. So yeah, that will be really, really fun. So there will be about 70 of us, and we've got people coming from all over Australia, which is really, really exciting. Some people from Perth, some people from Adelaide, Queensland. So it's a big trip for those people. Australia's a big country, so we're very thankful for those people for making the effort to join us, and hopefully it's going to be a really big success and the first of many retreats that we put on together. So all right guys, well that's it. As I said, yell out if you've got any questions or any comments, and I will talk to you soon.